Hey, Sean, John Worrell. How you doing?
Good, John. How are you?
Yeah, I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and hope you get to spend some quality time with your family, however brief it might be.
I appreciate that. Same to you and your family.
Thank you. And just wanted to start off the question by saying I've appreciated what you said on the vaccination front over the past months, year, whatever. But and I know we're all weary of the topic, but I can't help but ask just a few questions on this. On Cole, is he justified in blaming the rules and not COVID for missing Sunday's game?
Yeah, I appreciate that, John. I'm not going to get into that. Obviously, we've talked before about mutual respect and people's opinions and people's choices. So that's where I'm going to leave that. And other than that, I really can't get into the COVID situation and protocols.
Gotcha. Just because, and I respect your answer. And I just need to ask, is there any level of disappointment because you've warned, you and Brandon have warned, of potential competitive disadvantages coming in for something like this to happen at such a crucial juncture. Just wondering if you might be your level of disappointment.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I'm focused on the Patriots and and the guys in the building, and certainly with all the guys we have out on COVID, I think 7, Cole being one of those. We want them back as healthy as possible and as quickly as possible. That's where we're at.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, happy holidays to you and your family. Thanks for taking some time here.
Sure. Likewise, Josh.
Emmanuel Sanders, is there any update on his health status? Obviously, you'd like to have him back in the line, but in particular with Cole being out, just kind of wondering how he's coming along.
Yeah, he'll be out there today. We'll just see how it goes and taking it just one day at a time here, starting today.
And one last one for you. Last year, you guys decided to quarantine a quarterback. Now that things are kind of getting back into that situation, have you thought about putting Davis Webb kind of, lock him away a little bit maybe?
Yeah, we talk about those things quite a bit, trying to go through all the scenarios and possible situations that could come up. So we haven't decided to go that route yet, but we'll see where it goes.
Thanks again, Sean. Good luck on Sunday. Happy holidays.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
Hey, Sean, Adam Benini. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
All right. I want to go back to vaccination for just a second because you have talked from a general standpoint, about your feelings on the issue. What is, and about your team in general, no specific player. What is your level of satisfaction with the vaccination rate on your roster right now as we kind of re-enter this, storm of Omicron and whatever else?
Yeah, again, I'm to me the main focus is this game, and we've talked long and almost ad nauseum about this COVID situation and vaccination rates all the way from the start, Adam, and I've always tried to give you guys honest answers, and I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm not changing that course in terms of I'm giving you straightforward answers here. Really, the facts are the facts, and I respect each and every one of our players and their decisions that they make. We have a job to do this week, and that's really where my focus is, and that's really where I want the focus of our team to be as well. So I respect your question.
All right. If I'll switch gears and go to football here for a second.
Thank you. Appreciate
with a little meteorology thrown in.
Okay.
So looking at the forecast, I'm seeing 40 degrees, partly cloudy, winds 10 to 15. That would seem a lot more favorable for throwing the football and maybe doing what you guys do best. I guess, kind of talk to me as you begin to really prepare for that game, how that factors in, and maybe how you're getting your team ready in light of the conditions you played under the first time and the way that game played out 2.5 weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking with Joe Cantori of the Weather Channel, who, by the way, I'm a big fan of. But so I can appreciate where you're coming from. Yeah, The weather, is an uncontrollable part of what we go into every weekend, every game. And certainly the weather last time was unique to some extent. But this go around, it seems like, at least with the early forecast, to your point, that's going to be a little bit more static, if you will. So we'll just see where it goes. And at the end of the day, we've got to execute whatever game plan we have and whatever the weather situation is every week.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Yeah, sure.
Good afternoon, Sean. So you
Jim,
said earlier you had
Jim.
oh, could you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I called him Joe. I think it's Jim, Adam.
Oh, I think he's muted.
Go ahead.
I think earlier you said you had 7 on the COVID list. Now I think it's showing 5: Cole, Dion, Tyrell, AJ, and John. Did you have who the other 2 were?
Two practice squad guys.
2 practice squad guys. Thank you. As you look with Cole out this week, we've talked a bunch about Isaiah McKenzie this year. I mean, he's been through his ups and downs like probably everybody has been. If he's called upon, we know you have confidence in him, but for what he's shown you coming through all of this, the ups and downs, to have an opportunity potentially like this, what does that say about, his work ethic and where he's put himself?
Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot. He's an extremely resilient young man, and brings a lot of energy to our team. And I would also say, I mean, just no different for him than anybody else on our team. You go through ups and downs during the season, as you alluded to. And I think it's what you learn when you go through those ups and downs, and the things that you can carry forward then in a consistent manner every week that helps you play your best football down the stretch.
Jordan Poyer was on with Pat McAfee yesterday, and he said, he admitted it pissed him off when people talk about the Bills not being able to stop the run. What is this team, especially against a team like the Patriots that can run the ball? What do they have to do to maybe change that narrative? I know that you're not in that business. You don't care about what's going on outside your building, but to be more effective in that area of the game.
Well, it always starts with an attitude and a mindset, and then playing with strong fundamentals and techniques when you're talking about anything, let alone the run game, for sure.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Happy holidays.
You too.
Sean, this game is everything that you want to be a part of when you get into football. It's 2 great teams, big stakes late in the season. And I know you always talk about and respect the fact you can only control what you can control. But how frustrating is it to have this type of game marred, affected, whatever you want to call it, by the COVID pandemic and who's going to be available and who's not going to be available? Because this should be, a celebration of football, for lack of a better term. I know it's a job for you, but it's a big game, and this stuff is going to be in the way.
Yeah, again, those are things we can't control, and I think we just need to focus on what we can, and that's going out to practice in a few minutes and continuing to improve our football team.
Okay, Sean, I appreciate it. Happy holidays, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Hey, Sean, I'll echo what everyone said. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Hope you have time to spend with your family. Just want to ask about the offensive line. And, I know you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know if Dion or John, if they're going to be back for this game. Do you anticipate, if they're not, going with the same guys that you had out there in those positions on the offensive line? And just what did you think of how that group played? I know you touched on it after the game, but how that group played, given that there were a lot of guys playing out of position there.
Yeah, I thought they were very resilient, Heather, and I thought that was impressive in how they handled it, how the coaches handled it as well. Going forward, we'll just have to see where this goes. It's a little bit different, obviously, than in normal injury, where the trainer can say, hey, so today looks like X, tomorrow's probably going to look like Y. And so because of the situation, we don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. So I think we're a little fluid right now at that position, and we'll just have to see when I get an update later today here.
And then, obviously after the game and just by, watching him, Josh said that his foot felt fine. Is he 100%, would you say? Or is he where is he? Is he didn't seem to affect him. He said it didn't, but just kind of a gauge where he is there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to work through it. We'll just see where it goes here again. In this case, with an injury now, as we go through the week, how he progresses here.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Good morning, Sean. Happy holidays.
You too, buddy.
With all that your players are doing this holiday season in the community, how proud are you of them with the ways that they are giving back?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I appreciate you asking a question like that. That's something that gets lost through the course of any season, let alone a season like this with COVID on top of it. So I think I've been very impressed with the community involvement that are of our players, and from young to old, from guys that just arrived here this year to guys who have been with us for multiple years. I think we do a great job. Our CR department, our PR department as well, do a phenomenal job of getting those guys out there and impacting our community in a positive way. So much respect and appreciation. Hard to do in the midst of guys trying to do a job at a high level, but really appreciate the way they're wired that way.
Definitely. Well, good luck with this weekend. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Sean, I was curious. You mentioned how the focus is on New England and the COVID things can't be a distraction, but how in the building do you make sure it's not a distraction? I know it's been a thing all season long, but what does that look like for you? How do you make sure, players, coaches don't get distracted by all of that?
Well, we just keep our focus where it needs to be, and that's the pieces that we can control. Respecting the process that we're going through this week to get ourselves ready to go against a really good football team and a team that just beat us 2 weeks ago here.
And then one other thing I was curious about is after the game Sunday, you mentioned that there's a lot of leadership things from Josh that you saw that, you thought he did well. Was there anything specific in the before the game, halftime, that he did last week, or is it things he's doing throughout the season that you think he's done really well this year?
I just think overall persona, if you will, overall vibe from Josh during the week, and I thought that was noticeable, and not that it hasn't been there in the past, but really like the way that he's growing and developing that way.
Thanks.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, hope you're having a good Christmas week.
You
I was
too.
wondering, thanks. You touched on Emmanuel already, just kind of that he'll be back today, but I was curious, just him having to navigate that injury, the loss of a friend, like those things back to back is more than anyone ever wants to deal with. And how have you seen him over these last couple of weeks just try to navigate everything he's going through?
Yeah, it's been impressive. I mean, he's a pro, and he's played in this league for a long time for a reason. And it's not just because of his on the field talent. He's wired the right way. He works extremely hard. He's a pro on and off the field, and all that means. So I really appreciate his influence on our team.
Thanks.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay. You obviously know that the fans are going to make a lot of this game, given the opponent, the Patriots. Yourself, a lot of your guys have been around long enough here in Buffalo to know kind of what they've meant to the division and what Bills fans kind of think of them. How do you keep your team sort of with that next game mentality? And not let it creep in that it is your arch rival and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think awareness is number one, as to how our fans are New England week, and then just insulating ourselves to going back to what we have to do to do a job, and that's the proper focus, proper preparation. Respecting the opponent, respecting our process during the week, and that's the way you go about it. That's the way that we know to go about it, and so that's what we go back to as our base foundation.
You've played in a lot of these games now, which is a credit to your organization. Meaningful, important games with a lot at stake. What do you notice about your team in these weeks? Because they're smart enough to know what is at stake. So what do you notice about their preparation in these weeks?
That's where leadership really comes in, Jay. The team is led by player-driven leaders during this time of year, and to your point, yeah, it's good to be playing in important games down the stretch. We respect that and respect the opponent, as I said before. But again, I think that the big key is the leadership in the locker room during the back quarter of the season, if you will, and now in the last couple of games here. So that'll be a big piece for us going forward.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sean. Happy holidays.
All right, you too.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time today.
All right, thanks, Carol.